Welcome back to Rocket Talk episode 38 here, and we're our third episode now with Corie with us once again because Connor is still fired. So Corie, welcome back once again.
Thank you for having me back, guys.
For sure, yeah. So it's always good to have her back. And so before we jump into our Nerd News Now topics, let's do a quick bev check. Johhny, what are you drinking on this morning?
Well, I saw a commercial for Starbucks releasing my favorite set of drinks, which is the holiday drinks, and I was so excited for a peppermint mocha, so I went in and grabbed one today, and I was expecting it to be delicious, but the Starbucks I went to, there's no peppermint in this at all, and it is all mocha, and I am disappointed, unfortunately. This
Wow.
is the start of my 2020 holiday season is going honestly as well as 2020 is going, which is not anything like you expect.
Well, that is very sad. Corie, are you drinking Are you drinking a coffee as well?
Lukewarm coffee from yesterday.
Is it flavored or is it just black?
Creme brulee flavored with milk and honey.
Oh, there we go. I also have a peppermint mocha, but mine is very peppermint and mocha-y together. And then once I finish that, I have my Sunday tradition of having a purple monster. Since we are recording this on a Sunday, and I usually watch football that day, and so I drink a purple monster for the Vikings since they're purple. And so it's just a little thing I've been doing the last couple of years, and so I keep it going. So I will probably be drinking that halfway through this episode as well.
You're going to be very buzzed by the end of the day.
Nah.
Not buzzed, but energized.
Nah. Not enough. So, well, let's jump in then to some Nerd News Now topics. The first one we got is we're getting more from Ray Fisher about the whole Justice League situation. So he claimed that basically all of his scenes in Justice League outside of one were complete reshoots in the Joss Whedon version of the film, just going off of just more that he's been going on for the last few months, that it's been kind of a mess with how DC and Ray Fisher's relationship has been handled. And so we'll see how much of his original scenes will be in the Snyder Cut. But Johhny, what are your thoughts then on another thing coming out that is not painting Joss Whedon and DC in the best light with this?
It's really unfortunate. It sucks to hear it, but at least it's good that if bad things happened, it's good that they're saying them. Ray Fisher just seems like he's very unhappy with a lot of stuff with the Justice League filming, and as far as the reshoots go, it seems like it was definitely needed, especially his scenes. I think that all the cyborg scenes were not done well, and I think that was less a factor of filming or writing and more CGI, because Cyborg did not look good whatsoever. But I think everything that happens with behind the scenes, it's just it's just disappointing because, I was a really big fan of DC, and as more stuff from Ray Fisher and other castmates are coming out, I don't know, I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, for sure. Corie, what about you? What are your thoughts then on this? Have you been keeping up with much of this situation?
Yeah, kind of on and off. I've always been a huge Joss Whedon fan. He worked on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it's one of my favorite shows of all time, so I was like, he does really well. So to hear that things didn't go as well as we all probably originally thought before all the stuff started coming out, it's actually really surprising to hear. And very disappointing, especially to be such a big fan of Whedon's work already. It's like, I expect better from you.
Yeah, because he's done so much good stuff. I mean, he was... I just pulled up some of the stuff he's worked on besides the big ones, obviously, like Buffy and Firefly. He was a co-writer for Toy Story, and obviously he did Avengers 1 and 2, and while Avengers 2 is the worst of the 4 Avengers movies, he still has been a part of some good. He co-wrote and directed Dr. Horrible sing-along blog. He's been involved in a lot of really good projects. So I mean, it also is hard to come in a movie that is in post-production and finish it, and it's not your movie. But yeah, it definitely is. It's concerning because it is one that, you know, this, the more it's coming out, this is starting to taint his legacy a little bit. And, you know, what is going to happen then if we figure out more? And then, so this was happening with Justice League. Was this happening with some of these other films that we and shows that we just haven't had as much yet? I'm also just trying to think too, how many people of color, because that's been a big one, is Ray Fisher with it, like, as a person of color, like how many of these other ones have we had? But like, also I'm trying to think about it, like there's not too many people of color in Avengers outside of Samuel L. Jackson. So at least in Avengers and in Age of Ultron. So how much of it is just because his casts have been predominantly whites? So definitely something to keep our eyes on. It's I think it's just sad on, you know, that it is a situation like that where it's one of the many things that led to the downfall of this movie, that maybe we can see it get fixed with the Snyder Cut, but can continue on with controversies surrounding big name actors and film franchises. Johnny Depp is officially now out of the Fantastic Beasts franchise following the allegations. So Warner Brothers has asked him to step down as playing Grindelwald. So that role will be recast based off of his abuse allegations between he and actress Amber Heard. So go ahead, Johnny.
So I have been looking into this, and while it doesn't seem like J.K. Rowling had an official like vote or really didn't, it wasn't her decision. She did support the recasting of Grindelwald, and on principle, personally, I have to disagree with everything J.K. Rowling says. So, on principle, I don't really want to make I didn't want to make one side or like choose one side over another, but because J.K. Rowling says that it's better to recast, makes me feel like there's more evidence that that's not the case, and a lot of people are upset that Amber Heard is going to be in the sequel to Aquaman, but Johnny Depp is getting kicked off of the sequel to the third Fantastic Beasts, yeah, I just think that I'm not there, and I'm never going to make a statement about whether, like, about one thing that I do not know, that I'm not a part of. But I will say that I don't always trust J.K. Rowling's opinion in particular. So
yeah, and she's definitely done a flip then, because I remember before the second Fantastic Beasts came out, she had a lengthy statement about how she she supported them keeping him. So I don't know. I don't know if it's just because like everyone's been kind of hating on her because she has some very bad opinions on human rights. But yeah, it's definitely has been one that it's hard because it's, you know, it's good to believe all women with situations, and there's a lot on this that doesn't look good on his side, but also like there's been a lot, and this whole situation has been a mess. But I'm just wondering how this will affect. I know they're trying to recast him, but will this end up just killing the third movie? Like that.
They should have had a second one.
Because that thing is the second one was poorly received compared to the first. Because the first one's great, and I had to watch the second one again because I've seen it once and I can't remember exactly. I remember like enjoying it, but I don't remember like loving it. So I'll have to definitely go and watch that again. But yeah, it just felt like it was just kind of like complicated and just kind of just all over the place. It reminds me a lot of how Episode 9 of Star Wars is, where they've tried to throw in like 15 things at once into one plot, and it just didn't all stick. But yeah, I don't know. It's probably a good thing to get rid of him with these allegations, but then, you know, it's just hard though, because, you know, as big of a name as Johnny Depp is, and as perfect as he was for that role, you know, it's probably better to move on.
It's always it's situations like this are always really sticky because you don't because there are a lot of facts back and forth that are saying Amber Heard is innocent of this, Johnny Depp is innocent of this, and guilty, and so there's really like no way to know for sure unless you're one of those two people or maybe a few others, and it sucks that that Johnny Depp, if Johnny Depp is not guilty of anything, then it sucks that this is happening a lot. But I don't know what else to say without making my opinion known. But I don't know. It's just kind of unfortunate. So
yeah, it's just bad on all sides. It's because like I said, if Johnny Depp is innocent, then it's unfortunate that he has out. If Johnny Depp is guilty and they kept him on, then that's just a bad look as well for them to support this while and there's no really winning situation in this, and so him dropping out is probably the best course of action for everyone involved right now, and as this thing plays out, but it's still like I said, a sticky situation. So we can move on to a little more of a lighthearted one though. So the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special trailer just dropped this past week, and I gotta say, when they got announced, I was just like, cool, I might watch it. But after watching this trailer, I am definitely a lot more intrigued because it definitely, I think, was nice and fun. So it is going to be, it's going to be like the horrible holiday special that was on TV in the 70s. It's going to be about Life Day, which is the big thing they celebrate in the Star Wars universe, and so Rey goes to a Jedi temple on, I can't remember the planet's name right now. It's in Jedi Fallen Order, but she goes to a planet and she somehow finds a crystal that opens a time portal, and so she starts interacting with different moments of the Star Wars cinematic moments, like the Death Star battle and seeing Obi-Wan Kenobi. So it's gonna be a lot of goofy stuff where they're gonna jump into the different movies and have some goofy interactions with it, and so it was pretty funny with some of the jokes they had in it. So this looks like it's gonna be a light hearted, cute little streaming special. So I'm definitely gonna be watching this on the 17th. What are your guys' thoughts on this little trailer here?
I thought it was so cute. There was a scene where it was like old Harrison Ford and young Harrison Ford together, and I am so excited. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it, if I'll actively seek it out, but I'm not gonna say no if someone invites me to go watch it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I thought it was really cute and really silly, and I love seeing all the characters in a brand new way, seeing them all in a silly, goofy kind of story. Even the bad guys were all really goofy, which I loved.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is definitely something that's more lighthearted, and it comes out in just a few weeks. But I might wait to watch it closer to Christmas time because
Johnny, it is Christmas time.
It is. That's true. But I mean, big Christmas, so I'll probably wait until big Christmas to watch it. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, it. One of my favorites, like you mentioned, the Harrison Ford ones, where you have both Han Solos and Greedo's there, and he's like Solo, and they make a Han shot first joke. There's a lot of funny ones in there. Though I think the one that made me laugh the most was when they all land on Tatooine, and Rey's like, Master Skywalker, and then Darth Vader's like, my son, and they're like, wait, what? And he's like, the binary sons. It's. This is definitely going to be a goofy one. I'm excited to see what they do with this, and it's fun because they're bringing some different stuff. There's a Mandalorian and Baby Yoda cameo, and they're bringing back a lot of beloved characters. Hopefully everyone's favorite Jar Jar Binks makes an appearance. And
yes,
what I really hope that this is definitely more of a just kind of out of left field type of thing. I hope that they make some sort of joke acknowledging the Jar Jar is a Sith rumor, since they're already making some of these other jokes for the fans, like the Han shot first thing. So that'd be fun to see. But a nice lighthearted one. Definitely go watch it. It's on YouTube if you haven't seen it yet, and it's looks like it's going to be a nice little fun Star Wars thing. Nothing too serious like the Mandalorian or the new trilogy, but a nice fun way to experience Star Wars and in Lego form. So that'll be great. And then this next Nerd News Now topic, Corey's definitely going to have to lead this one a little more, but there was a big spoiler leak for My Hero Academia. So, spoilers if you are a big fan of My Hero Academia, so definitely turn away for a bit. But Corey, why don't you take this one off and explain what happened?
Okay, so you guys need a little bit of background context for this. In the world of My Hero Academia, there is a pro hero named Endeavor. And he has a fire quirk. This is important. He got into basically what is an arranged marriage with a woman with an ice quirk, and they had 4 kids because he's trying to breed like the most powerful superhero. So there's Toya, Fuyumi, Natsuo, and Shoto. Shoto is the youngest. He's the only one that we know of to have both fire and ice powers. So he was Endeavor's favorite, and he has a wicked Zuko-like burn on his face because his mom poured boiling water on his head.
Ow.
Yeah, big stuff happens. But the fandom for the longest time, along with the Todoroki family, assumed that the oldest Toya was dead. And then we met Dabi, which, fun fact, is Japanese for cremation. So, and he also has a fire quirk. We're like, interesting, okay. And then, like, all these small things started to add up, and everyone's like, oh, like, what if Dabi's Toya? Ha, ha, ha. And then we're like, well, maybe. And then a few days ago, the manga chapter 290 came out. It's called Dabi's Dance. And it was confirmed that Dabi is Toya. So, which doesn't seem like... which probably doesn't seem like a big thing to you guys, but for the fandom, they lost their minds. Because even though we all called it, everyone's still like, oh, we didn't actually expect him to, like, actually do this. Okay. But it was confirmed in the Japanese. So the English version that I'll be reading comes out roughly after we finish recording today on Sunday. So yeah, everyone just kind of lost their minds over the fact that, oh yeah, it's confirmed. Dabi's Toya, and he's going to try and kill his little brother. So there's that. They all hate their dad.
I always hate when stuff like big things like that leak early, because it's just like because just imagine if that had leaked and when you read it you saw that and just how you like blown away, even if it's stuff that's been theorized for forever. Yeah. And the fandom's just really bad about spoilers, especially within like the manga. It gets so bad.
About 5 years ago, one of the leaks that I'll never forget about. Luckily, it wasn't spoiled for me, but about 5 years ago for Walking Dead, there was an episode that Beth, Maggie's sister, she died, and I guess I shouldn't really have to say spoiler alert because it happened 5 years ago.
Spoilers.
But, she died, and Norman Reedus sent out a picture of him carrying her dead body and like posted a picture of saying like, we're gonna miss you, Emily Kinney, whatever, because it had premiered in New York on the East Coast, but it had not yet premiered, I guess,
on the West Coast,
in a different time zone or something like that. I'm not exactly sure.
Oh goodness!
And so he posted that before anyone had seen it, and yeah, it was not good. And luckily, I was not spoiled by it, and I was just as shocked as I was supposed to be. But yeah, it was very understanding that people were upset.
Yeah, I still haven't forgiven The Walking Dead for killing Beth.
I know. The season she was in when she died, and the season before that, she was like my top 3 favorite characters, and then she died, and I'm still not upset. I'm still not over them killing Carl either. More recent spoilers, but still.
Johnny, spoilers, jeez. Can't believe you dropped
2 years ago.
Spoiler alert, there are zombies in The Walking Dead.
Whoa,
Spoilers, people die.
Let's not get into deep spoiler territory here. So, all right, we just have a couple more Nerd News Now topics to hit on. The next one is one that's not very surprising at all. The PlayStation 5 is not going to be sold physically in stores on launch day, and for the foreseeable future due to the pandemic. So Sony officially announced this past week on their PlayStation blog that in the interest of keeping our gamers, retailers, and staff safe amongst COVID-19, they confirmed that all launch day sales will be connected through online stores of our retail partners. So if you're someone like Johhny who was looking at getting a PS5 eventually, at the time being, you're gonna have to do it online and hope that these websites have things set up into place so that way a bot doesn't come and buy all of them up right away and then scalpers are reselling them. But this is one of those where, not surprised, it's a bummer for those who don't have their PS5 pre-ordered and are trying to buy it day one, but also it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's worth not dying for. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, the early reviews are coming out for the PS5, and it seems like it's pretty awesome. The DualSense is amazing, and the Astros Playroom and Spider-Man are both really good. But is playing Spider-Man worth your life?
Not worth mine.
No.
Yeah, so this is just what's going to happen, like with stuff for the time until, this goes down, because while other countries were starting to open back up a little more, now since we're in cold and flu season as well, the numbers are spiking in countries, and we're seeing places like France and England start to do lockdowns again. So, they're joining America, who's still on the initial wave from March, but so be safe, wear your mask. Just because the election's over doesn't mean the pandemic is over. So, but if you're looking to get a PlayStation on launch, good luck. I will be playing mine, and I hope that you can get one as well if you're looking to get in that. So, and then our last one we can hit on is this is actually pretty surprising, especially in this year. But Pokemon Go actually is having its best year yet in terms of its earnings. It earned $1 billion this year. And it's the most that it's earned in that. So it went down after the first couple years after it came out, but it's up now. So this is kind of weird because we're in a pandemic, so people are at home. But the game about going outside and catching Pokemon is doing better than it did when it launched in 2016. So, Johhny, do you still play Pokemon Go?
I do not. I played it for about a year and a half. I played it when it first premiered, and almost every single day. I even went to Korea, and I was able to catch Asian exclusive Pokemon while I was there, which was amazing. But then I came back, and I played it for a few more months, and I really dropped off of it after that.
Yeah, this is just so crazy. We're just focused on America right now. We just mentioned how we're still, on a pretty big lockdown, and a few places are just now getting back to a lockdown. But it's still just crazy that this is still, popular. It's. I hadn't heard people talk about it. What?
It makes sense to me because you don't have to actually go and interact with people. Plus, they did make changes to make it easier to play while inside. And I don't know about other people, but I like to go for walks, and that's something you can socially distance while doing. So it kind of makes sense to me that it's doing well again. Yeah,
it's just crazy. Yeah, I have the according to Sensor Tower, it's up 11% on the spending total from 2019, and up 30% in the first 10 months. So it's doing well, and that's good. Yeah, the walks, I'm sure, is a big part of it too. People like that. I mean, I did a lot of hikes this summer as well, just to get outside, get some fresh air and all that. But yeah, it's in a lot of big countries like America, Japan, Germany. It is one of the top games in terms of revenue for mobile games, and so it's crazy to see that this is making a resurgence because it did kind of fall out of the limelight for a couple of years. Where I remember right that summer everyone was playing it, and so while everyone still isn't playing it, a lot of people still are. So And then now we can move on into into another segment of Luke's lament, but instead of it being Luke, this time it is a Johhny's lament. So, spoilers for the most recent Supernatural episode, as the show is coming to its last few episodes. But there was there looks like there might have been a little bit of a twist. Johhny, why don't you take it off with this one?
Well, I will say that I did not watch this the night it premiered, and I only went ahead and rushed to watch it because of what Corie said. So actually, I'm going to take it over to Corie to kind of give a synopsis of what you know, and then I'll tell you more about the episode in particular.
Okay, so again, big spoiler. DCL is now quote-unquote canon, so the ship between Dean and Castiel. And fans are not happy. So first of all, they weren't happy with how things happened on the episode, but they're more upset with what happened behind the scenes. So anyone who's been in the Supernatural fandom for a while knows that Jensen Ackles does not like the ship. He hates DCL. And there are a lot of reasons for that. But the director for the episode, Robbie, he did not tell Jensen what was going on. He did not tell them what the scene was. He did not know Cass's line. Basically, they just pulled this on him. And that's why, as Johhny explained later, he's just standing there. And the fandom is calling Jensen out, saying he's homophobic, and that he doesn't want the ship to happen for his own personal reasons. And I can just dive into my response on that, but I'll let Johhny explain what happened in the episode first.
So yeah, they are tracking down Death, as you do.
As one always does.
Whose name is Billy, and she they stole her scythe, and so they were going to kill her because they were afraid that she was killing all of their friends. So they split up. Sam went with Jack, and Dean went with Cass, and they split up and had their own little missions. And Dean and Castiel found Death, and they got back to the bunker, hid in in this room, which is often used as a torture chamber for their enemies. And so they were hiding in this room as Billy was right outside, pounding on the door to come in. And Cass told Dean something that the audience had already known, that he sacrificed his life for Jack earlier, I believe earlier in the season, and was told that whenever he's at his happiest point in his life, is when he will be, the empty is what it's called, will suck him away as a punishment for making a deal. Basically, he made a deal, and he wasn't sure. He told Dean this. He was confessing, and he said, I'm not really sure what could have made me at my happiest, but he basically said, you, Dean, are the one that makes me the happiest, and you are the one that I love, and you are the one that I that makes my life worth living, really. And from as a viewer that doesn't expect much, like what is supposedly happened, I would have seen that without Corie telling me what had happened. I would have watched that and I would have been like, oh, that's really great. Between two bros, saying that I love you, between two hetero bros that are just confessing their very hetero straight love for each other. And I can definitely see how it's more than that, but I would not have seen that had it not been pointed out to me. I think it's just because we live in a very heteronormative world, but I'm not really sure. I think that if they were trying to push it for being more a romantic love, I think they could have done more to do that, like a kiss goodbye or something like that. But I feel like going a half measure with it, all they did was Cass was crying. Dean was not reacting at all. He was surprised, but he wasn't really saying anything. He was just standing there, and then Cass pushes Dean out of the way so he doesn't get hurt or like sucked in by the empty, and then Cass presumably is dead. He gets sucked away, and then the episode ends. So, I don't know exactly what this means. If the creators have confirmed that it is a romantic love, then that's great. But I really wish they would have done more to like show that or prove that, because it really seems like they're trying to appease the fans who want the ship without actually doing anything that a ship is made of. You know, it's kind of like it's just not going as far as they could. So,
yeah.
and then even worse, I know people come back all the time, and I really don't think that this is the end of Cass. It might be, but I really don't think it is because it's supernatural. But if it is the end of Cass, it's like furthering the bury your gays stereotype, your trope. And it is like, you make somebody gay just to then kill them off. So it's like, oh, look, we did it. You can't say we didn't do it. We did it. And it's like, but did you really though? Because like,
you didn't commit.
So
yeah, I'm not someone who's ever watched Supernatural, like, but it's one of those that just from the little bit I'm getting from how Corey explained it when we did our meeting on Friday to discuss the episodes, and just some of the other stuff, it does almost feel like this is this was the third to last episode. So like, you know, there's 2 weeks left on the 12th, and then the 19th is it, and then the show is officially done. And so I feel like it's, with how popular of a ship this has been, you know, because it's, you know, the Supernatural fans are a pretty deep and passionate fan base. Like they you know, when I think of like Tumblr fandoms, they're one of the easy ones I think of them, and then especially the Super Wholock, the Supernatural, Doctor Who, Sherlock like joint fan group. But like it does feel like this was them kind of hint, hey, all of you who've wanted this, you know, since the beginning, here it is. But they're also not just out there, just like, they're not having them kiss, not having them do something that like overtly homosexual, just so it can also appease the fans who don't want it. It's such a half measure in both ways, and it's just like, just either go all in or not at all. Because when you do this half measure, then it just kind of just feels, it feels forced, and it feels just like a half forced, and it just, I don't know. I don't really like the idea of it if they're just doing it like the way they did. You know, maybe the intention was just him saying he loves him because, like a brother, because like he is sacrificing himself for it, and like you can have love and it not be romantic. But also, if they didn't tell Jensen what was going on, typically and stuff like that, it's for big twists, like how almost no one knew about the Vader being Luke's father in episode 5 and stuff like that. Like, there's a lot of like scenes like that people don't know. Like, they don't tell all the actors what's going on, so that way they can get a more genuine reaction. But I don't know. It's I wouldn't be upset at Dean at Jensen as well if he's not fully for the ship, because if he feels like the writing hasn't been pushing it as much as the fans want it, then it can feel forced. But
I'm looking up Destiel memes, and because I'd never really like done that before, and some of the memes are hilarious. Like there's the Guru one as he's giving like the like steps to the plan. It's got Cass's face on it and says, "Step 1, rescue the righteous man from hell. Step 2, help him stop the apocalypse. Step 3, fall in love with him." Fall in love with him.
Yeah, and like I was saying, that when it's for stuff like that, it just is like, come on, guys, like it's.
Oh, wait till I tell you about why he hates this ship so much. It's not necessarily the writing; it's the fandom.
Yeah, fandom's gonna suck.
There's another meme that shows the Supernatural like season posters, and each season Castiel is getting closer and closer to Dean. He's like way in the back, and then each season he's like a little bit closer, and then it shows a picture of them like hugging.
Yeah,
I love it.
Here, I'll figure something to try it back in. Yeah, because I think the biggest, because I'm trying to think of some other shows that have done stuff like that. Like, what this kind of reminded me of a little bit, where it kind of seemed a little forced, was with Star Wars, with Rey and Kylo's kiss, where like they were kind of hinting at it, but it felt kind of forced. But this would have been more like if we had Finn and Poe do some sort of hint at them being gay together, which I know Oscar Isaac was pushing for it, so I guess it's not fully the same, since the actors were pushing for it in Star Wars, and at least one of the actors wasn't in Supernatural. Corie, I know you had a lot you wanted to say about why Jensen actually isn't a fan of this ship. Why don't you go ahead and explain that then?
Yeah, so Jensen, for context, is married, and he and his family have been pretty vocal about being allies of the LGBT community, as going as far as like hosting pride events at their bar, and so on and so forth. But the reason he does not like this ship is because the fans, I'll call it the DCL fandom, because they're their own little subgroup. They took it too far. So what happened was they started sending him smut about this. They started sending death threats to his wife. They were shipping him and Misha as actual people, not as their characters, but like as them, the actors. And they were just pushing it so far. Every convention, it was always DCL, 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 to the point where he's like, guys, I don't want to do that. And he even says, like, I'm not quite sure how comfortable I would be playing a gay character. He's like, that's not what I kind of signed on for. Like, if things had developed naturally, then that would be a different story. But I'm not quite sure how I feel about that, especially with it, you know, Misha already being, like, a really good friend of mine. Like, there are just some boundaries there I don't want to cross. And people have just been tearing him a new one for it. And I feel really bad for him. But, yeah, no, he does not like the ship for his own personal reasons because people just took it too far.
Yeah, and well, what's kind of ironic is, so yeah, like he as a straight white man doesn't like he wants to keep his character straight, which like sure that's heteronormative and there's a lot of issues that come with that, but we have people that get upset rightfully when we have cisgender people play transgender characters, but then they want to push a homosexual relationship on heterosexual characters, and it's like I get that there's that like heterosexual people have the least amount of oppression that's obviously and stuff like that, but it's kind of ironic that they're getting mad at him for not wanting to play a gay character, but then if they went and cast a transgender character and had a non-trans actor play them, then the fans would also be just as mad. And it's just, I don't know, it's hard, especially too when ships go from a fictional character on the show that an actor plays to them trying to push the real life actors and actresses, then it becomes just a problem. I'm someone that I don't like ships that don't feel natural like that, where they're pushing stuff like with real people and trying to push them in relationships that they're not comfortable with. And it's a big issue I have with a lot of fandoms, but that's a story for a different day. It's unfortunate, and this is going to, depending on how they address this in the next two episodes, this could tank the finale of the show. Yeah. Which is unfortunate. Someone, like I said, as someone who has not watched this show, I just know just how successful this is. This show has ran for 15 seasons. It has it's been the longest running live action fantasy TV series, and there's been so many. It's done so many things just to kind of reinvent itself as the show's gone on, to keep it fresh and going. But this could be something that does go and just kind of upset the fans now with how it ends.
Yeah. Hopefully, I think that if they never bring Cass back, it'll stay the half measure I thought it was. But if they do bring him back in the next episode or the finale, and there's some kind of like solidified stance as to what their relationship is, that'll kind of be the determining factor as of whether this was a half measure or not. But if not, then they definitely missed the mark and definitely did not read the room very well, the writers and creators. But we'll see going forward in the next few weeks. Unless something major happens, we probably won't report on it, because I am the only one of... well, if Connor's back, then I'd be the only one of the three of us, Luke, Connor, and myself, that watches it. And unless there's anything that Corey would want to talk about, we probably just won't in the next few weeks. But
yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea after you watch the finale just to kind of give what your overall thoughts was and how the show ended, because finales are a big thing to always touch on, because we for every show like The Office that ends well, we have Dexter and How I Met Your Mother and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Or we have shows like, hopefully it's not like Lost, where they open a bunch of more questions in the last few episodes than answers, like they said they're going to. But so then we can move on now into a blast off or blow up. So Ruby, the season 8 premiered on Rooster Teeth, and so before we do that, I've never watched this show, so I'm going to quickly give you guys my synopsis of what this show is about. As someone who's never watched it, not even read the synopsis on Wikipedia. I'm on Google Images right now. I'm looking at pictures, and so this looks like some anime-esque show where these girls, including these girls with cat ears, go and they do anime-y things, like fight some sort of thing that is, I'm gonna guess, an evil group of people, and I'm gonna guess they have some sort of fun weapons. I'm gonna guess they have some sort of superpowers, because it's like, why wouldn't they? They just give off those vibes, and we got people in black, we have people in yellow and white. I'm gonna guess the black and red girl is the emo, and the yellow girl is more of the bubbly personality, and they go and they do their things. How'd I do?
Be less vague. Be more. Give us plot points. Give us romance drama. Give us action sequences.
There's a lot of fighting that happens, and there's probably some beloved character that has died at some point that has made the fans sad. That's all I got. I don't know.
Between the four main characters, the one wearing red, black, white, and yellow, which two would you ship together? Which do you think has the most likelihood of being in a fan relationship?
I'm gonna guess probably the black and red and the yellow, because just off of the pictures, they look like the ones that are the opposite personalities, and so obviously that's going to be the ones that people are going to want.
Well, they are sisters.
Oh, they're even better.
Those two are sisters, not all four of them, but yeah, that I will say you were vague enough to get most of that what you said correct. Pretty much everything you said was correct. But yeah, what do you think is what do you think the big bad is like? What do you think the big bad is doing? What's their plan?
I'm gonna guess since the cast is all females, it's a big scary man of some sort, or someone that like appears as a man, even if it's not. Kind of like Mephiles from Sonic, where it's a deity that takes the appearance of man.
Okay, and if they have to collect something, or like bring stuff together, what do you think that? Yeah, the MacGuffins. What do you think that would be? What do you think it is that they have to go and run and collect?
Well, is it something to do with rubies, since the name is Ruby, even though it's not spelled like Ruby, or am I just...
No, the main character's name is Ruby, and each of them are... it's spelled that because RWBY, their colors, red, white, black, yellow, and also their names, Ruby, Weiss, Blake, and Yang.
I don't know, some sort of MacGuffin that you would have in anime style series like this, with monsters and weapons. And
Corey, do you have any questions about what your some plot questions you're curious about for Luke to answer for you?
I'm just enjoying this. I don't know. Do you think you know where a lot of the inspiration for like their costumes and personalities come from?
I don't watch much anime, so I would not be able to tell you. Cause
Oh, you don't need to know anime. You don't need to know anime. Or at least, let's just do the red girl. Red girl. So, girl in black and red. What do you think kind of inspired her?
Shadow the
Like her
Hedgehog.
Christian.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
kinda. She got that speed.
She's black and red. She seems like she's dark and mysterious.
Does she have a hood?
I'm not seeing a hood in. I guess there is a hood. Yeah, I guess. Little Red Riding Hood.
Yes.
Oh, so I'm gonna get some sort of things with fairy tales like that. So what's
Yep.
his? So
The
Snow
next
White.
Yes.
I
Cat ears. What do you think, cat ears?
no idea.
I actually
Her
don't
last
think
name
I
is
even-
Belladonna. Maybe that'll give you a clue.
So like Beauty and the Beast,
Yep.
and then Yellow Girl.
Yes.
Which fairy tale? Does she involve a shoe? Does she involve sleeping?
Bears.
Oh, Goldilocks.
Oh.
Oh yeah, duh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that myself. I always knew they were fairy tale
Wow,
based.
fake fan.
Yeah, I know, right?
Actually, every character that has like a name and all that, they are inspired from fairy tales or legends. So there's a subgroup that they're all characters who had to cross-dress in their fairy tale.
Well, they all do have very like their names are very particular. It's not like Nicholas or Luke or Johnny. It's like it's all very like one of them isn't Weiss's dad's named Sleet.
No,
Isn't that-
her dad's name is Jacques
Oh.
because he's
No, but somebody
Jack
I
Frost.
thought somebody was named Sleet. Because they're like snow. They're all snow based. Somebody is named Sleet. I saw it in this newest episode. I am like 99% sure the caption said Sleet and then he said something. But
No.
no,
But
am I imagining things?
probably.
No, he's a character. Yeah, he's member of the Atlas Council. Yeah.
Atlas.
Yeah.
Atlas.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
All right.
yeah,
So
they-
I did
they
a
all
great
have-
job explaining the show, obviously. So
Yeah,
now,
definitely.
So now you don't even need to watch the season 8 premiere. But why don't you guys talk about the season 8 premiere then for the viewers? Spoilers.
So this is definitely getting towards endgame for the series, at least in my opinion. So what we see is Team Ruby and what's left of Team Juniper, along with Penny and their mentors, and Oscar. I forgot Oscar. They are in hiding. They're still on the run, and Ironwood is not happy. But for those of you who are curious, Winter is okay, and Luck dude, I forget his name. Clover. Clover's been recovered.
And Sleet is there too.
And Sleet. I'm going to have to go back and be like, who is that?
Didn't you just watch this and you already are forgetting?
Hey, was it after the credits scene, Johnny?
No, it was he was a guy that did a little pew pew action. He killed
Bang,
someone.
bang.
See, all I'm thinking of is Tyrion.
Did we watch the same premiere?
Honestly, I was half asleep when I watched it.
Well, also Crow is missing from the premiere, which was to be expected for anybody following the production news. Corey, do you want to give kind of a brief explanation as to what happened?
So, in the story, Crow and Clover got into a fight. And this also kind of goes towards the potentially burying your gaze trope, because those two characters were shipped. There were a lot of like intimate moments between the two. But there was ultimately a fight between them about following orders. And both of them have polar opposite semblances. So Clover is blessed with good luck. Crow is cursed with bad luck. And for the most part, Clover's semblance would kind of overpower Crow's while they were together. So there's always, like, they were always just lucky. This time, Crow went out in the end, and Tyrion supposedly killed Clover and left Crow to take the blame. And then there's just some behind the scenes stuff that's been going on when they had to recast Crow because Vic Mignogna was let go from the production. They've had to recast since then, and that's pretty much it as far as Crow goes.
Oh, nice. So, obviously Corie is kind of forgetting some of the episodes, and she was a little bit of asleep when she watched it, but how did you feel the premiere went compared to season 7's finale, the other premieres, and just the previous episodes as a whole?
Personally, I always have a really good time watching it because it's the characters are very colorful, unique, and it's such a big cast, and it's so rare that you have such a big cast and everybody has their time to shine, or everybody has something about them that makes them very unique, and you can tell who they are, and it's also a revolving door of, like, so many new characters come and so many new characters go, and it's such a big group of people. But I loved it. I mean, I'm it's not like my favorite show by any means, but it's always something that I consistently enjoy to watch. And I think that this premiere is setting up to be, like Corie said, setting up to be something really big. And the show's kind of gone in a bunch of different directions as far as, like, the different arcs that they've had. And so even though this could be like an end, or maybe the last season, or maybe the next season will be the last, I think that they have the potential to go for years and years and years, like Supernatural did. And then in season 15 they can have a gay controversy that is a half measure. So
I'm not too worried about any major character deaths this season.
Oh, really? Why is that?
So, a fan actually pointed this out a couple years ago, but you only get really major character deaths like every third season. So, with spoiler alerts, the death of Pyrrha, Volume 3, Volume 6, I forget who we lost, but we lost someone. I think that may have been like Cinder. I think that was a Cinder moment where we thought she died. Plus, like, Lionheart and all that. That's also when we found out Jean's semblance. And then, so we just wrapped up season 7. We're going into season 8. So if we're going to get a major character death, I don't think it's going to be until volume 9. And at the very last episode, or like next to last.
Do you think that, like, in a series finale, do you think they would kill one of the core 4 characters? And if so, who do you think they would kill off?
I don't think they're going to kill them off. What I think is going to happen is all 4 are going to somehow end up with a maiden's power. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to kill off Penny, and Ruby's going to inherit the power. Or it'll be Cinder, or Cinder will die, and her last thought will be of Ruby, because Ruby's the one who ended up killing her. So Ruby will end up at least with one of the maiden's power. Weiss, I think, will end up with one. Blake and Yang will also end up with powers. I don't think they're going to get the ones that people are like, oh, like stereotypical. So like Weiss would get like winter, Ruby's going to get spring, Yang summer, and Blake fall. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to get like their opposite, because to show like character growth. So like Weiss would get summer because she's had to warm up and all this other stuff and embrace change, embrace new people. Yang will get winter because she's had to cool down, so on and so forth.
Do you
I don't think they're going to kill any of them off.
Do you think Blake and Yang will be canon by the end of it?
I think Carrie's and Mile want that to be canon, but with Miles leaving Rooster Teeth, I don't know. I also just really liked Black Sun. I thought that was just a really cute ship between Blake and Sun. But he hasn't been around for a few seasons, and I don't see them bringing him back unless they're doing a big Avengers moment, which probably won't be until the last season. And even then, Blake went ahead and got the bisexual haircut. So I can see it potentially becoming canon. I won't be upset if it does, and I won't be upset if it doesn't. I'm pretty neutral on the whole thing. Just as long as Ruby and Yang don't get together. we don't want that.
That'd be like Sam and Dean getting together, which people are still wanting, but...
Stop.
Yeah,
Get
please
help.
stop. please stop.
Seek help. You're deranged.
Seek help.
But I'm so curious. I think we're going to see the end of Oscar and Salem. So, like, Oz and Salem, I think we're going to be seeing the end of them soon. And I think they're just going to destroy each other. Which is really sad, because that means Oscar's going to die.
Oh, no.
Rip.
I like Oscar.
Me too. We all love our compost king.
Oscar.com. Oh, wait, wrong Oscar.
But,
awesome.
yeah. No, I have so many thoughts and feelings about this. I think most of Team Juniper is going to die.
Man, you mentioning people leaving Rooster Teeth just reminds me of just how much Rooster Teeth has been decimated the last couple of years. Because I'm thinking like basically all of the Funhouse team is like basically gone, and all the other stuff. Like they've been hit hard with a lot of departures recently. But I mean, people move on, which. So it sounds like that was a nice start to the season, and definitely a lot of theories of what's to come. So if you are a fan of Ruby, be sure to watch that on Rooster Teeth, and I'll see what goes on. And hopefully you enjoyed my synopsis of the first 7 seasons of the show. So now we can move on into the topic of the week, and it is a very timely one. And just with this time of year, this year, what we just wrapped up with, and all of that. And so it is a very anxious time of the year, with the stress of the election, school, seasonal depression of winter, and just the fact that it's 2020. It's always good to, go over things to help us with our mentals. So it'd be good to
anxious time of the year.
Exactly. So it'd be good to go over some of the different things that we do to help us de-stress. Things like video games, board games, books, and all of that. And actually, Connor even sent me a couple things that he does as well. So even though he is not with us, I can at least give him some things he wants to do as well.
You said that like he's dead.
Connor has died.
Connor is no longer with us. It's unfortunate, but...
Yeah, so it is R.I.P. Connor. But let's just start off with that. So let's start with a TV show. What's your guys' de-stressor show? Like you guys are having a rough day. You just want to throw something on, even if it's just a background noise while you're scrolling through Facebook or whatever. What's your guys' de-stressor TV show?
For me lately, it's been Downton Abbey. I actually just finished the entire series a couple days ago. But it's so soothing, even though they have all the tragedies going on. Thinking of the Titanic, Spanish influenza, which watching in 2020, that hits a little close to home. Riots. Basically, it's 2020 in the 1920s.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that. My parents loved that show, so
I need to watch it.
That's always a good one. Johhny, what about you?
Well, I'm always watching something, but I would say that lately, one show that always manages to cheer me up is Critical Role on YouTube. It's definitely the kind of show that once you start it, you either need to commit and make it a personal hobby to get through, or you need to not watch it because it's 3-hour episodes. It's D&D, but it's 3-hour episodes, and the first campaign is over 100 episodes. The second campaign is already is ongoing, but already at 100+ episodes. And I haven't watched it in a while because, like I said, I need to really commit to it, and I haven't been able to commit to campaign 2 yet. But that show, I moved to Minnesota by myself last year, and I was in a studio apartment, and I was bored a lot, and I had nothing to do. I went through my first Minnesota winter, and that was before 2020. So Critical Role helped me get through like a lot of like a really shitty job that I had for a few months, and like that's one show that really like helped me like stay sane, really. So it's a long commitment, but it was definitely worth it for me.
Mm-hmm. So I don't watch a whole lot of TV shows much anymore. I'll have a few I'll watch here and there, but one's definitely that. So one Abby and I did during the start of the pandemic was we went and, like a lot of people, went and watched through all of Avatar, The Last Airbender, and so that was a good one because I had watched pretty much all of season 1 as a kid, and then I missed the start of book 2, and so I kind of fell off of it, and so it was nice to actually be able to go through and watch it all the way through for the first time. That was a big one, but besides that, a lot of times if I'm just like wanting something just throw on just to enjoy, I'll throw on either something like Parks and Rec or Arrested Development or The Office. Just like one of those that I've seen a good chunk of the episodes a bunch of times, that it's more just like I just want a nice laugh, and so I'll go watch some episodes that I love. But yeah, since I don't watch as much TV anymore, that's that. I mean, there's a few YouTube channels that I'll go seek out and rewatch some old videos. My recommendation I did a few weeks ago with Cybershell, after he came back, I went and rewatched a few of his older videos as well and enjoyed that. But yeah, TV show wise, it's a little more sparse for me, just because I don't watch as much TV shows as I did anymore. So.
Do you guys remember like that week Avatar: The Last Airbender first came on Netflix and everything was good for just like a solid week? Like no one was like really fighting. Everyone was just like tea, Uncle Iroh, Avatar, just vibing.
That was one of only 2 weeks I can remember this entire year when things were good, and it was that and when Tiger King came out.
Yes.
Everyone talked about how Carol Baskin killed her husband, and everybody agreed on that. Everybody was on the same page. Politically left, politically right, anywhere in the middle, it doesn't matter. Everyone agrees Carol Baskin killed her husband.
Yeah, the only really fighting we got with Avatar was the people that were saying that, they're shipping some of the relationships, and people are like, I don't know.
Friendly reminder that shipping Zuko and Katara is toxic and not to do it.
Fight me! You can fight me, Johnny!
It's a toxic relationship.
Dante Bosco, Prince Zuko himself ships it.
Yeah, well, that's even more toxic. So,
but yeah, that besides that debate, pretty much everyone was pretty happy with it. So, and it was just fun to watch it because, like we always talk about shows that we loved as a kid that didn't hold up as well. This is one of those shows that like holds up so well because of everything with how well it's written, and I mean like they just take so much with the idea. Like think about how many shows in America at that time that you were watching, like American made shows too, that had that dealt with things like genocide and death and imperialism, totalitarianism, free choice, war. Like there's a lot of stuff that mixed with the humor, the goofy, the anime-y things that would happen, and like there was a lot of things that it just mixed together and it just worked so well. And then it just was a fun time to watch. So, what about movies? What are you guys' big movies to help you guys in troubling times?
One that I always go back to is Man of Steel. We talked earlier about how DC is going downhill, and I think that there's a lot of movies that are in the DC EU that are very bad, and then I think there's some that are very, very good, but one that is consistently always good for me is Man of Steel. It's the first one that they released back in, I believe it was 2013, and it's Superman's origin story, and it is like 2.5 to 3 hours long, but it is the best 2.5 to 3 hours that I can watch over and over and over and over, and I never get sick of it. And I'm not even a big Superman fan. There's just something about it. I'm not even that big of a Henry Cavill fan. I'm not really sure what it is. It's just they did everything right for me, and it's like the movie was made just for me, and it's uplifting in the right ways, and it's intense in the right ways, and there's it's just Man of Steel is just like my perfect like cozy movie for me. So
cozy movie with all that destruction.
It is, yeah. Not a lot of not very cozy for the people living in the world of the movie, but for me personally, on this side of the screen, it is very cozy.
Nice, Corey. What about you? Are there any movies you gravitate towards a lot when you're feeling down?
I have two, and they're very different movies. So the first one is 10 Things I Hate About You with Julia Stiles and Heath Ledger. Because who doesn't want to watch Heath Ledger running around a stadium saying "I love you, baby"? It's beautiful, just perfect. Definitely a comfort movie for me. The other one is a German film. It's called Lola Rent or Run Lola Run, and it deals with the butterfly effect. And I watch it for a very sadistic reason. So it plays the same scenario 3 times, and each time, like, one small thing changes, which causes everything else to change in a major way. And there's one, the guy gets run over by an ambulance, and I don't know why, that just makes me laugh. Just the irony of, like, oh, the Krakenwagen just gonna run this kid over.
You had us watch that a few years ago for Nerdmageddon.
I did, and it's by far one of my favorite movies. It's so well done, and it just makes me laugh despite it being a very serious topic.
God, speaking of theft. Laughing and stuff, Johnny, that reminds me of Wish Upon.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. So actually, very timely one. So one of the ones I did recently, Abby and I watched Up a few days ago because with the election, since it dragged on a few days before they officially called Biden as the winner of the election, we didn't want to watch CNN like just talk about the 2,000 votes coming in for the third night in a row. So we watched Up a couple nights ago because we wanted a nice feel good, a nice sad, because the first 10 minutes of that movie really hurts you. But it was great to watch again. I haven't seen Up in, I don't know, probably 5, 6, 7 years. So it was good to watch again, and it holds up so well. Pixar is just so good at making movies. Like we almost watched a couple other ones, but I was like, no, I want to watch Up again. So there's that. A few others I always like to watch. I like the Christopher Nolan movies a lot, so those are always ones I'll throw on just to enjoy. And sure, almost every movie has some sort of daddy issues in that, or some other serious topic that undermines, like and stuff in the movie. But those are always good to watch just because I think those are so well done and there's a lot of great things about it. But yeah, those are. I'm trying to think about some other ones. I mean, obviously I'll go and watch Star Wars again as well, and Scott Pilgrim. But I can't really think of too many like movies where it's just like, oh, I'm down, I'm gonna go watch this. Like, there's movies I can think of that I want to watch when I want to do certain things. Like, if I want to cry, I'll just go watch Marley and Me. But nice. And then what about stuff like other media you watch? Like so, I mean, Johnny kind of mentioned YouTube, but like, are there anything else like that? Because what Connor had is, when he's stressed, one of the things he likes to do is watch baseball highlights. It reminds him of his dad. So what are things like that? Are there things like, do you go and watch certain YouTube videos, or do you go and stuff like that? What are like other visual things you consume that isn't a traditional TV show or movie?
I like listening to RPG horror stories, so like D&D horror stories. Specifically Crit Crab on YouTube. So he'll just read like these people's terrible interactions playing D&D, and it makes me very grateful that I've had like the group that I've had with Johnny and some of our old friends, and the current group that I'm with, because man, some people are crazy. There's one where a guy actually tried to stab someone in real life. I was like, that is a crit fail for me, sir.
Yeah, I've seen some of the stuff you're talking about, and it really makes you appreciate the people that aren't crazy. You know, like some people don't know how to separate game from reality, and like that's either from a DM. When DM does that, it's ruined. Well, honestly, if a DM or player does it, it's ruined for everybody. But when a DM does it and they're trying to like put in some kind of like pervy essence of the world for the players to play in, it's just like, okay, we get it, like we know what you're trying to do. And then when the players do it, it's like, all right, calm down, like simmer down, it's not that big of a deal. And yikes, like there's some people that don't understand other people really.
What? No. Anything for you, Johhny? Like, I mean, you already kind of mentioned that YouTube, but is there other things like that? Are there like certain YouTube video, like comfort YouTube videos that you go out and look for as well?
Yeah, I love seeing compilations of funny moments from my favorite like sitcoms. Like recently, it was more bored than like anything else, but I looked up compilations of Community, and Helen is, for some reason, not like a fan favorite, like one of the characters that's not very funny to a lot of people, but to me, or not Helen, that's from Drake and Josh. Shirley is her name in Community, and Shirley is the funniest character in my opinion. Like she is the best character. She is a judgmental mom. A judgmental divorced mom, and she is very religious, and she the way that she says things under her breath is just like it's just perfect. Like Yvette Nicole Brown is a goddess, and I don't believe she's human. I believe she is better than human, and I will never doubt that.
Yeah. Oh, I have a controversial one that you guys are probably gonna hate. Pimple popping and earwax removal videos.
God.
Johhny knows I love these things. It's so cathartic to me, and like thought fly removal.
All right, Corey, thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
All right, bye, Corey. This is gonna be the last time you're ever on. So,
no thanks.
The Try Guys started their own channel a few years ago, and I've watched every single episode and every single podcast that they've shown since they premiered their channel, except for the earwax removal episode that they did, and I could not bring myself to watching it. It's like pimple popping is gross to me. Earwax removal, not as gross, but I just don't get the quote-unquote satisfaction that other people do get. To me, it's just kind of like, okay, this is a thing that I don't really have any interest in watching.
I get the satisfaction when I get it out of my ear, but not others.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I do watch. Sometimes I'll go and look at some of like the gruesome injuries happening in sports. Sometimes there actually was one that happened in a game last night, and it was funny. Is they showed it. The announcer for CBS said, "Oh, we probably shouldn't show this again." And then CBS like, "Nope, let's keep showing it because it's one of those where the guy legs breaks and it's definitely a different angle, and it was gross, but." Yeah, it's pretty funny. I'm just like, no thanks. But
I love seeing like a steamroller roll over stuff. Like,
oh yeah, those are always fun to watch too. Yeah, watching stuff getting crushed or
yeah.
So I think we can all agree that we just like seeing semi-violent things.
Yeah, there's a game called Beam.ng Drive. It's a PC car game. It's like and it has like a physics simulator into it. And so there's been a trend on TikTok. I don't know if you've seen them, Corey, where like these guys will watch crash compilations on YouTube and describe how they survive. And they're like these complete destruction, like the cars get completely pancaked and like there's no way they could survive. There'll be stuff like, oh well, I'm gonna move over to the passenger seat, I'm gonna duck right here, and yeah I would survive. And it's been pretty funny because I've watched some of those compilations and those are oddly satisfying.
I'm not on that side of TikTok. I'm on Weeb TikTok.
Well, I would say go watch them, but then that'll mess up your algorithm. So
Mine's already messed up because somehow I'm getting videos that are in Spanish, which is cool because like new culture, but I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know what's going on.
I'm on 200 plus days of my Duolingo for Spanish.
Hey!
nice. And then what about music? Because I had another one for Connor. Connor's is, he loves listening to AC/DC. Especially when he works out, helps him feel more productive. He mentioned too, at the start of college, he was kind of a heavy smoker, and so going to the gym helped him feel like he was counteracting those effects, and using that with AC/DC helped him kind of push through. And he mentioned that especially with how AC/DC has just been a really big inspiration for him.
For me, I go to like old One Direction songs, like back when like they were really popular. And then like breakup songs. There's just something so cathartic about a good like belting breakup song. It hits right. And so I actually listen to music when I go for walks at night because I have no concern for my personal safety. And just like listening to stuff that's angry and I'm gonna go bust this guy's truck up because he cheated on me. There's just something cathartic about it.
Nice. Johhny, what about you?
So, Corey, you mentioned angry breakup songs, and a few weeks ago I heard I Hope by Gabby Barrett featuring Charlie Puth, and it's basically like Gabby Barrett's like singing the song about how she was cheated on. She's like, I hope you fall in love with somebody. I hope she makes you smile. I hope she, you're able to put a ring on her finger. I hope you think of nothing else but her. And then I hope she cheats on you. And it's such a fun, loving song. And then when she gets to the line, and then I hope she cheats, and I'm like, oh, like I like there's something about the song and the anger behind it, just like the punch of the lines, and that makes me kind of I understand what you're talking about, like the angry breakup songs. I'm like, yeah, I get that, because when I heard that song, I'm like, ooh, like that's a powerful, like kind of like fuck you song. But
I do like songs too like that it makes you feel like it's nice, and it's like like there's I can't remember the song name, but there's that one there's that Hollywood Undead song that like it sounds super happy. It's like, oh, this is nice, and you look at the lyrics and it's like really depressing. Stuff like that is always fun too. I mean, I listen to a ton of music. I can name off a bunch of different albums for different reasons. Like, I mean, like there's one, if I want to feel nostalgic, like going to video game music, I can listen to a variety of different stuff from Sonic, like Emerald Coast from Sonic Adventure, or Frog Forest from Sonic Heroes, stuff like that. There's different albums I listen to that if I want to like remind myself of different times, from like Reliant K and Yellow Card and Real Friends. Honestly, I could do a whole episode just on music because I listen to so much of it. So like it's hard to pick like one exact thing for me. But yeah, there definitely are a ton. I linked my Spotify to Last.fm, and so it tracks all my listens outside of a few times when it like messes up. And my most listened to artist is the Sega Sound Team. So from all the Sonic music I listen to, but like besides them, like Reliant K and Yellow Card and Blink-182, Silent Planet are a bunch of ones that I listen to a ton. So. Music, there's just a huge variety I could do. There's the Wonder Years. I could go on and on, but
yeah, I like as far as casual listening goes. I like when I'm not like when I'm just driving. Basically, I have my favorite artists. Walk Up the Earth. I've talked about him. Scott Hellman, Taylor Barrett, and a bunch of others that I'm a big fan of that have just like one or two songs that I listen to and put into a playlist. But as far as like if I'm feeling like anxious or down or really something that I need to like pick me up, I just listen to calming video game music, like Luke said, compilations. There's a YouTuber named Vapid Bobcat, and he or she or they just posts compilations of like themes of different Nintendo video games, like tracks. So maybe like this is all water world songs, or this is all lava world, or maybe this is all relaxing, or like there's like different moods, different worlds, and really whatever mood I'm feeling, whatever I feel like listening to, I just have a playlist of something that I designed from their songs, and I just pick the one. It's like usually an hour or longer, and I'll just listen to it to kind of like help me relax. It's what I listened to when I was studying for like the last 2 years of my college life. And
a lot of instrumentals is always good for studying.
Oh yeah,
I listen to a lot of explosions in the sky and some other instrumental stuff when I'd be studying.
Yeah, like Breath of the Wild music is so good for studying. And so I would listen to that as well. And now I can't sleep without rain, sounds of rain. And yeah, like I started like about 2 years ago. I tried like sleeping with it, and not a single night has passed where I've had access to the ability to play like a 10-hour YouTube video, and I would just have the sound of rain playing while I'm sleeping, and it is perfect. Like,
my Google Home, it has like a thing where if you say good night, it'll like go through a nightly routine with you. So it's like, oh, we'll set the alarm, all this other stuff, and then it'll have like white noise options. And so I have like raging thunderstorms for mine. It was just.
I just use a fan.
The only thing that's better than a YouTube playing rain sounds is actual rain.
Yes.
Oh my god. Rain and thunderstorms, I am a baby. I sleep like a freaking baby.
There are compilations I found too that show up on my recommended YouTube thing that are calming video game music with thunderstorm sounds in the background as well. So it'll play it'll play the daytime theme when you're in Apatos, the Greek world from Sonic Unleashed, and then it'll have thunderstorms behind it or stuff like that. That's a game that has a lot of nice calming music. Is a lot of the themes when you're inside the different locations around the world. Like a lot of those are pretty relaxing and calming, and also just very authentic to the regions that they're based off of.
Yeah,
great soundtrack.
Yeah, Vapid Bobcat does some Nintendo music with the sounds of rain on top of the tracks. And it's perfect. I don't sleep to stuff like that because it's only an hour, and I sleep for more than an hour. But still, it's like stuff to like I said, study or just chill to. So,
lo-fi hip hop beats to chill and study to.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
Nice. Well, for those out there too that maybe are looking for stuff, definitely check out some of these. Obviously, and then too, don't forget to reach out to people, either people you know and trust, or sources online to help out with that, because while the election has cleared up and that will alleviate a lot of stress for people, there still is more stress that is coming with the winter time, at the holidays, school. So be sure that you are getting any help that you may need, and so do what we do and talk to friends as well if you need to. But we can move on into the next one with the recommendations. So I recommended Sonic Dreams Collection for my recommendation this past week, and so let's hear you guys' thoughts then on this wonderful game.
Well, I already knew what I was getting into, so Corey, why don't you take it away?
So the Movie Maker one. Here's the thing. As a kid, that's something I would play all the time. I loved like those kinds of things, like the semi role playing, story creating thing. So that was fun. I hate the controls. I hate it so much. And so I definitely struggled with that. It's an experience. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Did you get past did you go through all of the scenarios?
No, I did not go through all the scenarios.
Oh, did you only do the first one?
Yeah.
Okay, so you might have missed some stuff that was coming up.
You missed a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wonder, I'll just tell you, and I highly like you don't have to play it. In fact, I recommend you don't play it, but going forward. But you should look up compilations of like videos of people going through the whole thing, because the first one is the only normal one that there is, and
Great.
And the second one is that the prom episode.
I want to say it gets more and more weird. There's one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I don't know the whole part. the after prom is crazy, and then and then when you
hospital the food, and then the hospital,
and you see Big, and then you leave something, and there's like, oh, that's what I left. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and then so did you not even get to My Roommate Sonic?
No, I didn't end up playing that one. I mostly was just like, okay, Movie Maker, I feel like I can kind of like sink my teeth into, because that definitely seems something that I would have played as a kid. So that was my main one, just because of time budgeting. But,
okay, well,
yeah.
So I'll just tell you kind of a little bit of what happened, and then I'm going to leave some mystery for you to go look up more based on what I tell you.
Okay.
So it is a movie maker like normal, but the first one is what you played. You know, it was kind of just a traditional, oh, this is kind of cute. The second level is prom, and I don't remember exactly. Is it like you get to put people together? Is Rouge there?
Mm-hmm.
I think Rouge
and
is
Shadow, and I think Blaze.
Yeah. Yes. They're all on the dance floor, dancing. We'll say.
Okay.
They're dancing. And then then the next one is after prom, or the night of prom, and it is at a no-tell motel, and
then it's feeding.
And Tails has had too much to drink, and then some of the others are having a good night in bed, and definitely not sleeping, and then it's feeding Sonic because he's a hungry boy, and definitely not is the term vor? Is that when you like? No, that's when you get eaten, which is coming up actually, And I'm not going to say any more, because I highly recommend you go and look at some of the stuff.
And then you have to also go look at My Roommate Sonic, which is another fun one. So, as the name implies, Sonic's your roommate. Yeah. And then Eggman sends you encouraging text messages to help with your friendship with Sonic. And
maybe crush on Sonic.
I'll just stop there.
Yeah. So you have feelings for Sonic, and so you want to show him that you're interested, and
so another fun one is on there is the first mini game, Make My Sonic. You can make your own Sonic character, and then you can incorporate him into the Movie Maker as well.
So he can be a part of the after prom.
No. No.
And then there's also the Eggman Origin, which you have to do different things to actually get into it, because when you first try to access it, it says you're not connected to SegaNet. So there's stuff you have to do to get it playable. That can give you some more interesting stuff with Eggman.
This is not like your traditional horror, but there's something about what you expect from this versus what you get out of it that is definitely on horror vibes, just because of how it's similar, not in the same way as Baldi's Basics, but it's got some similarities with Baldi's Basics. With there's something you expect versus what you get, and that's where the horror comes in.
Exactly.
And yeah.
This actually was Geek.com's best game of 2015.
Jesus.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, this is more of just a fun one, because even though it's past Halloween, this was more of in the spirit of Halloween, kind of a creepy type of thing, and it just fits so well with how weird the Sonic community is as well. So,
and the last one is I'm not going to spoil it for you, but the last one is very is probably the most horrific. It's only scariest if you look up.
Yes.
So
I'm scared. I'm scared
Good.
now, Johhny.
Good.
Thank you for doing this to me.
Yeah, just go watch.
This is your fault. This is your fault.
Yeah, just go watch. I know Game Grumps played. Game Grumps played a lot of big YouTubers have played it.
Yeah.
So yeah, just go and check it out. After this, so Johhny, what would you give? I know you've already experienced this before, but what would you give this this collection?
I would give this 9.5 out of 10. Horrific revelations when you look up from the crib.
So, Corrie, even though yours is a little more incomplete, what would your rating be?
I'm still trying to compute. I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 10. I need new friends.
Wow.
But when
Rude.
friends offer you Sonic Dreams collection, when friends offer you to experience Sonic Dreams collection, how can you say you need new friends?
Exactly.
This is worse than Doki Doki Literature Club.
That's true. There are some things that even Doki Doki didn't do. So, speaking of which, maybe I should recommend that in the future.
You should.
Well, hey, you could. It is your turn for recommendations, Johhny. So,
well, instead though, this time I'm going to recommend a YouTuber by the name of Brian David Gilbert, and his 7-part miniseries called Dance is Moving. And the entire thing is less than 30 minutes, so you've got kind of a bit of an easier one this time. Each video is like 2 to 3, at max 4 minutes long. 7 parts to it. And it is on the surface, it is a dancing instructional video. But as you get further on, it's not Sonic Dreams Collection creepy. It's not anything like that. We're past Halloween, but it's more emotional, and there is a deeper context to the dancing as you go along.
I know who this guy is. Yeah, he makes videos for Polygon too.
Yes, he does.
Yes, yep. He made one for Crash 4 where he goes back in time and will play the original Crash games, and he'll do stuff that is very fit to the night. Like if he's playing Crash 2 in 1997, he's gonna snack on snacks from 1997, and he sits on an inflatable couch. And yeah, this dude, I've enjoyed his videos from the little bit I've seen. So okay,
yeah, he's very funny. And this is more. Yeah, it's definitely. There is something more to it that's a little deeper, and it gets a little, it gets emotional as you go on. It's kind of a bit of a roller coaster, but it's something that it's one of those videos that I've noticed has a lot of deep reactions and deep dives into what does this mean? What does this mean? What is the true meaning behind this? And stuff that I haven't seen since the. I hate to make this comparison because I just said it's not like Sonic Dreams Collection, but something I haven't seen reactions as intense since I've seen.
Too many cooks.
I'm scared. Don't hug me, I'm scared. Or
like that?
Too many cooks. Yeah, but it's not scary like those things. So so you don't have to worry about looking up from the crib at this. In this video compilation.
So it definitely throws you off guard, but it's not going to be a Shrek is love, Shrek is life.
No, nothing like that at all. Yeah.
Dang.
Thank you.
Alrighty, well, perfect. Well, I will definitely be watching this later then. So, so Brian David Gilbert. So definitely check this out if you want to check it out along with us. There are 7 parts to it. If you actually go to his YouTube channel, he does have it in a playlist, which I linked for us in our show notes. But if you want to watch him all at once, like we're going to do, you can do that as well. So, perfect. Then now we can get into the stuff where we wrap everything up. We're including go over the sponsors and all that. So, this podcast is sponsored by Anchor. The easiest way to make a podcast, visit anchor.fm to start your own. Corrie did that with her own podcast as well. We've done it with ours. So, Anchor's great. Please check it out if you're trying to start a podcast. This podcast is also sponsored by ByLightFixtures.com. Visit ByLightFixtures.com for a trusted source of quality lighting products for your business and home. And also thank you to Tom Taylor from Tailored Beats for the intro and outro for this podcast. Follow him on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/tailoredproductions for more of his great beats. And Corrie, why don't you push your socials and your podcast that you talked about last week as well?
Yeah, so the Chaos Corner is a podcast I started with a couple of my TikTok mutuals, 3 random internet friends, just talking about insanity. So you can find that on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Music, pretty much anywhere you can listen to podcasts. You can also find me over at Nerdmageddon on Facebook and on Twitter. That's NERDMAGEDDON. We also are on the KNWT YouTube page, so you can always watch us there as well. And if you want to follow my personal insanity on TikTok, that's going to be Miss_Kitten97.
Awesome. So also be sure to follow our stuff as well on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and on Twitch. And Connor's new show. Once Connor does come back, don't forget about his show that'll be coming as well with Moving in Stereo. And then also, hopefully next week I can give my initial thoughts on the PS5, as long as the system comes in time. I ordered it online through Target.com, and so it has not shipped just yet. It is saying, according to Target, it's going to come Friday the 13th through Wednesday the 18th. So maybe I will. Maybe I'll be able to give my opinions on this one. If not, it'll have to wait till episode 40. But also, don't forget as well on Wednesday, when this episode goes live, to wish Corrie a happy birthday as well. So be sure to do that.
Corrie.
Happy birthday, Corrie. So that will wrap up episode 38. So thank you again, Corrie, for joining us once again. And she's been great to be on this with us the last few weeks. Give great insight on things as well, and giving us some her own takes on these great topics we've had. So be sure to check out her stuff. I definitely hope that you guys do go support her and support Nerdmageddon, because they all deserve it. That'll wrap up this episode. We will see you guys next week.